Good evening, greetings, and salutations. This is Passionate Bliss, and I'm here tonight with questions, comments, useless facts about me. And we're talking about the topic hypergamy, as well as the high value, high man, well, actually, high value woman, high value man concept that's kind of going around now, and how it's affecting dating in the Black community. Should it be adopted by the Black community? What are the pros? What are the cons? Hypergamy, which is, well, we'll get to that later. But I'm also going to have a male co host who I'm waiting for to arrive shortly, and then we'll get started, okay? So let me join the room so that I can see your comments on my other device. Okay, I can see that I currently am here. So I am going to wait a few minutes, actually, more like a few seconds, for my co host to come in. My co host is going to be another chatter called Manly Gossip, and he will represent for the male perspective as much as he can, as much as any one person can represent for a whole group. Kind of give us an idea how men feel about it. So it's not just, girls talking together. Okay? But I can get started with giving you the definition. Hypergamy, the definition of that is, let's see, hypergamy, marrying or forming a sexual relationship with someone of a superior social, economic, or educational background. Okay? Um, and so we had some questions that went along with that. And as far as the high value man, um, the definition that I've come to understand it to mean was that this is a man who earns six figures, who's had it for at least 5 years, who's influential, and is commonly viewed by everyone else as a man who has high value and who has all these things. He has social network ties of other high value individuals, and that makes this man high value. Okay, and as far as high value women goes, these are women who are fit, they do not have children, they are agreeable, and what's the other thing? Oh, something else, but I can't remember. But anyway, oh, that they're attractive. I guess facially, they have to be. And he rates them. He rates them on a 1 to 10 scale, and he said that you cannot use 7 on the scale, and that Beyonce is an 8. Okay, so those are the definitions that we're working with. Okay, okay. So far it's just me. So the show must go on, and I will carry it on. All right. Um, the question: hypergamy. How does the hypergamy um, theory, that is the theory of marrying or forming a sexual relationship with someone of a superior social, economic, or educational background, how does that benefit women? Okay. From what I can tell, how that would benefit women is the fact that um, these women would be able to have a certain level of security. These women will be able to offer that security as far as housing, as far as, I guess, having food to eat, place to sleep, um, company, companionship, the things that women typically depend on men for. The understanding or the assumption is that if they're superior socially, economically, or educationally, that that's the best that there can be offered to you. So you will have a certain level of security that normally um, or that may not be there if you're with someone who is of a lower or equal superior social, economic, or educational background. So if they're on the same level as you, the assumption is that you're no more secure than you would be without them. But if they do have a higher level of income or social standing, that you're more secure, um, and and you will not, I guess, have that fear that you won't have a place to stay, food to eat, or um, companionship, or somebody to provide for your children. Because women do look to men for primarily safety. They want to feel protected. Um, so I guess if this person has superiority socially, economically, educationally, then they would have the funds to offer you protection. Um, and the knowledge base to offer you protection. And so, if women are looking to men for protection, then hypergamy would be benefited in that way. They would have the ability and the resources to offer you that protection. Okay, so women look to men for safety and protection. They also look to men to provide um, their lifestyle. Whether the woman works or not, typically she wants a man who can provide. If she's, having children and she wants to stay at home, she can stay at home. And if she is, you know, not able to, I mean, if she loses her job, that, they won't lose the house because he's able to, based on his superior social, economic, and educational background, he's able to offer a security as far as being able um, uh, to provide for her, also for her children. If the woman has children, she feels more secure that he's able to provide for the children. So those are the things that women look to men for typically, um, fundamentally anyway. Because also you want to have love, you want to have companionship, you want to have communication, you want to have respect, and you want to have kindness from that person. Okay, so typically women look for all of those things from men. And so hypergamy benefits her is because he has more resources and he has more a knowledge base of how to achieve those things than someone of her own standing or lower standing would. And so she feels more secure. So that's how it would typically benefit someone um, to adopt this hypergamous lifestyle. And so, actually, my co-host just said he was on his way home from work, so he'll be here shortly. But anyway, um, and so let's see. And I'll go back over this questions to get his male point of view. But yeah, I'm not going to have dead space. Okay, so let's see. Should women be encouraged to participate in hypergamy, to date up, to marry up? Um, so, I mean, my feeling on the matter is this: there is actually a big movement by women who feel that hypergamous lifestyle is what we should be doing. And a lot of that is based on, I'm here to tell you, a lot of it is based on some resentment that Black women have towards Black men because we feel like we have been abandoned by them to a large degree and we have been left alone to raise families, to provide, to, um, hey, you just have to click on this link. Let me see, can I get the link to post? If not, I'll type it in manually. Let's see. Oops, what happened? What did I do? Hmm. Okay. Hmm. What am I doing? Did I keep myself out of it? Okay, tell you what, let me see. I'm gonna put the link in the room. Let me see. Can I do it? Can I put the link in the description box? I did. I have it in the description box. There you go. I'm gonna save it. Okay. Now, are you seeing the link in the description box? I haven't been able to do that so far. Okay. So now it looks like I'm back in here. Okay, can you click on the description box and see if you see it? It should be in there. Let me see. Okay, so well, let me see. Okay, one moment. Maybe I'll do it manually. It's not in the description? Okay. Mhm. Okay, well, let me type it manually into the room then. Because it doesn't, I don't even see where I'm able to, because I'm actually doing it on my iPad, so that might be the issue. Because I think they didn't recommend that I do it on my iPad. And so I don't see how to put it in the chat on my iPad. I can't chat in the room at all. Type anyway on my iPad. Let me see. Okay, so there it is. Oh, am I still under here as Passionate Bliss? No wonder I couldn't see. Um, okay, so now let's see. Alrighty. Okay. 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 So now, are you able to get on that link and come on aboard? Okay. Okay, looks like I am seeing someone back there. Okay, there you are.
What's up? How you doing?
Okay, I am able to hear you. Sounds great. I'm doing good. I didn't realize that time was too early for you. I could have changed it, but yeah, I got it started. So I did go ahead and get started, and I talked about the definition of hypergamy. But I wanted you to go ahead and introduce yourself and let everyone know who you are and where they can find you.
Okay.
Mhm.
Well, my YouTube channel is called Manly Gossip, and I started on YouTube in like November. So if they go to Manly Gossip, they can find me there. And my Gmail is CoreyMiles8000 at gmail.com.
Okay. Okay. Now, are you able to answer a few background questions for us? Because I do, you know, I don't know how much you feel like sharing with yourself about, you know, with people who are online, but so are you okay with answering some questions? Like we would like to know, where you are, about how old you are you married, what do you have going on? that you're able to share.
Oh, okay. Well, this month is my birthday, so I'm about to be 37 years old. I'm from Greensboro, North Carolina. At the moment, I'm not married, so I'm single,
Mhm. Okay, so you are on the
and I
dating
got
circuit.
like three sisters and one brother. Oh yes, yes I am.
Okay, okay. And so, well, that's good. So you'll be able to tell us what the dating scene is like right now. So that'll be good. But what we were talking about was about hypergamy, that concept, and the high value man, high value woman concept, and how that's impacting dating. Is it something we should adopt and encourage? And just what are the details of it, the pros and the cons? That's what we were talking about. So I had given the definition of hypergamy, which is marrying or forming a sexual relationship with someone of a superior social, economic, or educational background. And so our first question was, should men and women practice hypergamy? And I asked that question because I had been speaking about it before, and I was notified by the folks who are advocates of it that hypergamy is only for women. It's not for men. Men should not be trying to marry up. Only women should be trying to marry up. So now, do you agree with that?
I don't know. I mean, I look at it like this. I'm not sure people should be trying to marry up or marry down. I mean, I understand everybody got standards though, but at the same time, if let's say you try to marry up and think you're going to get somebody who is bringing more to the table, and then if you're not bringing the same thing to the table, is that relationship going to work out? That's how I feel. I don't think nobody should encourage anybody to marry down. You should have standards, but at the same time, are you marrying up for what type of benefits? Are you doing it for the money or the status? Because if you don't really like that person, it don't matter if you marry up or down. Because at the end of the day, you got to find somebody who matches you. Because you can marry somebody who brings more qualifications to the table, but at the same time, like if a woman marries a guy that has more qualifications, is he gonna have more power in the relationship? Because some men believe if they bring more to the table, they're gonna want that woman to submit.
Right. And I know, well, actually, to a certain degree, I do agree with that. But the thing is, and as far as you know, practicing hypergamy, marrying up or marrying, down, like you were saying, I do want to acknowledge, even though I don't believe in necessarily hunting for somebody to marry up or down, I do want to acknowledge the practicality of it because the light bill has to be paid, the rent has to be paid, the car notes have to be paid, the kids want food and clothes. So I understand that being practical, looking for somebody who can actually help you do that, somebody who can provide that for you. So I understand the practical side of it. You don't want to be struggling. So I do understand that. But the marrying up, I think primarily, I think you should be, actually looking for your own level, your level or better. Because I do kind of believe you should stay in that range because it's what you're used to, it's what you know. Um, and the thing about hypergamy and marrying up, that person is marrying down. So you may not necessarily fit in with their friends. You may not know what the inside jokes are, for being middle class or upper middle class or being wealthy. They may shop places you've never heard of. And, they're experiencing things and going places routinely that you don't know about. So you're going to kind of be a little bit outside of the circle unless you have done your research and, you've been thoroughly educated on what that class lifestyle is like. He's outclassing you, so you're going to look a little awkward, if you're deliberately shooting for something that's out of your normal range, unless you've really prepared for it. And the thing about it is, what happens if somebody that's on his level comes along and he likes being with her, because she understands him and his world, you know. So, so
I
that to
mean,
me is,
I
go ahead.
definitely think it's level.
Yeah.
I definitely feel like it's levels to it. Like, let's say you're trying to get involved with somebody who is into entertainment, they're rich. It's definitely gonna be hard to date someone like that because they're gonna feel like you might want them for their money. So, I mean, it's challenges. But if you're just talking about regular level jobs, if somebody's making $100,000 a year and you're making 60, I don't think that's no big deal. Now, if you're talking about dating up as far as somebody who's like on a totally different level, like they're rich, they live a whole different lifestyle, that definitely might be different. But at the same time, I think, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just depends on where you at in your life. Yeah, you definitely going, if you at a certain level, you definitely going to get the women or the men at your level. But it's people who can get above the level. I know guys that are not doing anything, ain't bringing nothing to the table, and they get women with jobs and stuff. I know dudes getting out of prison they get a lot of women, and maybe they don't meet financially, but it's something they have a connection with, because this dude just got out of prison and he still is able to get women, and women that have their own place and stuff. That means that they must be mentally on the same level.
Mm-hmm. Right. Right. So yeah. So that hypergamous definition includes social, economic, and educational background. Maybe he got an education while he was in jail. I don't know. But
Right, right, right.
so as far as the question was, how does hypergamy benefit women? If you're going to be marrying up, I'm assuming that you're marrying outside of your level. I can see with their security, because typically, women do look to men for safety. They want to feel protected. They look to them to provide what their needs are, and they look to them to, serve as a protector or a role model for children, and to care for children and provide for children. So a lot of times, those are the things they're looking for. And hypergamy, marrying up, you would, of course, have a man there who's able to provide those things, and he has resources to do it. And so if you lose your job or whatever, he's got resources that it's okay. So there's that kind of security that's present if a woman is looking for hypergamy. So I will say that. So that's one of the benefits to them, the security of having those resources. And so my question is, should women be encouraged to date up or to marry up? If that's what they're looking for, should parents be encouraging their little girls, look for rich men? Should they be encouraging, them to, yeah, he's got to marry up, he doesn't make enough money? Is that something that, if you have a daughter, or would you encourage your daughter to marry up, to look for somebody that's doing well?
I don't know if I encourage my daughter to marry up. I mean, definitely I want to see my daughter be happy and be with somebody she loves. But at the same time, I don't want to encourage to look at somebody for what they have beneficiary. I mean, I want her to get somebody that's going to match her level. If she working, he needs to have a job too. If she brings something to the table, he needs to meet her. But she doesn't exactly have to get somebody who's making $300,000 a year. Because at the end of the day, if you're not happy with this person, but I also would encourage a woman in my family to find somebody that's you're gonna be happy with, but also you want somebody who can be a provider. If he a man and he can't bring nothing to the table, if he not matching what she's matching, then it's a problem. But I'm not gonna encourage a daughter, a niece, a sister, or anybody in my family to go for somebody for their money or anything. And I'm not saying people do that, but it's people out here encouraging their daughters to try to get with somebody who matches them. Like, I don't agree with that. But it just depends on how you raise your child, though.
Right. Because that's the thing that I see, the recurrent theme in both of these concepts is money. The assumption is that money is the answer to all of your problems, that money is the most important thing in a relationship. That is the consistent theme I see with both of them, is that money is at the root of it. And typically, as a community, money has not always been our driving force. We've always been a big, people who work at a lot of love, a lot of culture, a lot of music, a lot of rhythm, a lot of, celebration. We've never been a community that has been so focused on money. And to me, that's what I feel like is one of the prevalent themes in hypergamy, in, this high value man, high value woman. It's the emphasis on money, as if money is what's going to make you happy. Money is what's most important. And so you should make your decisions based on the money involved. So to me, that's the biggest thing. So I would not encourage personally my daughter to be married, but I don't want her marrying a broke man or a man that doesn't work or doesn't have anything, because that's dead weight. That's going to drag you down. Okay. And so, but I would encourage her to be with somebody at her level or higher, so that he can understand her lifestyle. Because if I'm middle class and I find somebody from the projects, this person is not going to understand my lifestyle. I have actually seen that happen, where the person didn't want to leave a tip. I remember leaving a tip because I wouldn't pay. I don't pay for the meals when I date. And so I'm okay with leaving the tip. And and actually there was somebody that I dated was actually, when I took the tip off the table, I was like, no, put her tip back. What are you doing? Because that's the thing, is that, when you with somebody, that person was actually not in my class. It wasn't a romantic date, it was a friendly date. And I left the tip, and so, but he wanted to take the tip back. But the thing is that, I was raised to leave 15% minimum, 20 if they were great, but those are things that, I understand, because I grew up middle class. I'm still middle class, and so, to me, and it was just, it just really kind of blew me that he wanted to actually take the lady's tip off the table. But, and so little things like that is what I'm saying, is that when you move out of your class range, there may be stuff that you don't know that they know. and and people will see you doing this stuff and know that you kind of like don't fit or belong or whatever, and it might even be embarrassing to whoever that your person is you're with. Um, so that was my biggest thing
But let me ask,
about mhm. I'm sorry, what was
I'm
that?
sorry for cutting you off, but let me ask you a question though. Yeah, definitely. If you're taking the tip off the table, I don't know. I mean, that could have been what type of class he was in, or man. Okay, let's say he had been in a above middle class and tried some mess like that. I think that had something to do with his character because who goes back to a table and try to take the tip off the table? Come on
There
now.
was
I mean,
like he
I
was
think that
saying,
had
and then
something
he
to do.
said, but no, he wasn't trying to keep the tip. He was like, "That's too much," and he was taking it off and giving it back to me. I was like, "No, it's not. It's 15%. Put it back." So he wasn't trying to take it for himself. He just didn't. He just didn't get the
Oh,
concept of, he was like, "She's getting a paycheck." I was like, "She's not. They don't even get minimum wage. Their tips are counted whether we give them or not." And so that was something I had to like tell him. But I knew that already, but he did it.
But
And so,
but but at the same time, I mean, I went out with women and they had tip like that, but I'm not gonna mess with that tip. That's their money. If you want to tip somebody $40, that's on you. I'm not saying I'm gonna do it. If I go out with somebody and they tip the waiter or waitress $100, yeah, I might look like, damn, that's a lot of money. But I'm not gonna say you need to take your money back. That's your money. If you want to tip $100, cool. I'm not gonna tip $100 though.
okay. And so that's why I was wondering. My next question was: is there a real need for a practice like hypergamy in our community? Do we need that to marry up? Is there a need for it?
I don't know. That's a tough, but it just I don't know if we need it or not. But I understand you want if you got a daughter and you want your daughter to marry somebody that's doing good. I think like they should marry on their level. If your daughter making $300,000 a year, definitely marry up at your level. But if you making $30,000 a year and you talking about you got to be with a man making 300,000, I'm gonna look at my daughter like, come on now, be realistic. Like she might could get somebody who making that type of money, but it's gonna be something to come with it. If you making $30,000 a year and he making 300,000, definitely
Right.
if he wants you, is it gonna be because of what you're doing? He might want you because of your looks or something. It's something gonna come with that though. Somebody making that much more money than you, something gonna come with it.
And
I'm not sure if we should encourage that or not.
and this is why I feel like, because when you listen to those women who are talking about hypergamy, and that this is the way to go, you guys. When you listen to them talk, I feel like there's an undercurrent of something that's in the Black community. Because when you say, is there a real need for it? A lot of these women, when they talk, they're talking about they leave us for white women when they get rich, and they leave us alone with these children to raise them by ourselves. We're struggling, we're broke, and they don't want to pay child support because they don't have anything to lose. And if it's a man who's successful, he's going to pay his child support. And so I feel like the undercurrent is Black women, and in general, what I hear, the undercurrent is that we feel abandoned by Black men. And I think that fear of abandonment, fear of not having the security, fear of being left alone and not being able to survive, that is underneath it. And so that's why a lot of them are saying, we need this in the community. We need this. We need to do this. We have to do this, because that fear of being alone and skipping out, and you've got no resources.
I mean,
So
I get what you're saying, and I get what you're saying, and I get what these women are saying. But also, it's all about accountability, and this go for man or woman. If you're marrying dudes who are not there for you, what kind of men are you marrying? Because at the end of the day, if you marry a man, no matter if it works out or not, if he's a real man, he's not going to abandon his family. If he abandoned his family, then he probably didn't want to be there anyway. He probably had some more women, some more kids. And the same thing goes for a man. If you're worrying about your woman being there for you and not cheating on you, what kind of woman did you marry in the first place? A lot of these people are marrying people they know aren't any good when they first meet them. And I heard the stories though, women and got with dudes that she seen him with a bunch of women and she wanted him so she could take him from the women. And then when she married him, he continued to be around a bunch of women. That's who he was. You can't change these people. If I meet a woman and she had a reputation for being around a lot of men, it ain't gonna change when we get married. It's gonna continue. She might can hide it, but eventually that's who she is. Like you can't change these people. So you have to be more careful on who you're having kids with.
mhm, okay, and I can agree with that too. So would you say that bottom line, hypergamy is gold digging? Is that the same thing as gold digging? Um, if she's
I
saying,
don't know.
mhm.
Oh, I'm sorry. If she said what
No,
now?
No, go ahead. If she's saying that he's got to have money or no deal, is that a form? Is it or the beginning stages of gold digging?
I mean, it could be if she said no money, no deal. I'm just like, in my opinion, why would she even bring up money? Like, I understand you should make sure he got a job. If he got a job like you, that's fine. But when you start saying money, if she's saying how much money he needs, is the woman saying no money or no deal? That's my thing. I mean, what if let's say it's a situation where he works all the time and he lost his job. So he can get another job. Like he has a history of always having his stuff together. Say he hit some hard times and he don't got a job. Is you gonna bring money in it then? Because at the end of the day, if he ain't doing good, it's your choice if you want to talk to him now. You could wait until he get on his feet. But so it's kind of hard to say because I would go by it's people out here with money who ain't no good.
Right.
So
And the
I
thing
don't
is
know.
that,
I don't know.
and to me, and that brings up one of the downsides of hypergamy is that what happens when he loses his job? What happened when you've lost your job? Is she gonna stay? She came to you because you had money. What happens if because for instance, I had one friend who was a banker before COVID hit and everybody stopped taking out loans. He was a loan officer, and so nobody's borrowing money and nobody's paying back the loans they got because guess what? COVID hit and their jobs were shut down, so they don't have any money. So I know his bank was downsizing. They was working from home at first, and then they started laying off the people who were at home. And this is somebody who had a serious income, but because a pandemic happened, the income was gone. So, the thing is that if you marry for hypergamy and that's the sole reason you marrying that person for money, then, what happens when the money's gone? She's gone
Exactly.
too.
And then the thing about it, if you marrying just for money, then I'm not saying I think you should have your own. I mean, but at the same time, that's why they got all these rights, like women rights and stuff. Women got these rights so they can work. So if the woman want to work, that's cool. But I met a woman one time. She was talking about she don't have to work. That's the man's job. And I was like, I ain't agree with it. I was just like, okay, so what are you gonna bring to the table? She was trying to use like I guess back in the day when women didn't work. Okay, if you're gonna do that, you're gonna have to submit. If you're not gonna work and all you're gonna do is stay at home, that means the man is gonna have all the power. So that means you are submitting to him.
Yeah, completely dependent, and you're subject to his whims. And so that's also one of the downsides or the risks of it is that you are completely at his mercy, and that's one of my things that I was saying is that I was thinking is that you basically, especially with the high value thing, you basically agreed to be something he purchased. And if he purchased you because you had this quality, that quality, other quality, what happens if you don't have him anymore? Or, what if he just comes home and he's in a bad mood? You're completely subject to him. What if he decides to be abusive? You are completely, at his mercy. And so you have to continue to remain what it is he purchased or to take you back to the store, trade you in, upgrade you, and then and you base it everything on that, you have to remain what it is he purchased. And you can't develop a new personality. You can't decide you want to, go back to school or get education. You can't do all that because that's not what he purchased. You're not allowed to evolve or to grow or to be, to develop as people do, because that's not what he purchased. And you run the risk that he's going to upgrade you, trade you in for a new model, And so to me, that's one of the downfalls of it, Mm-hmm.
And then I know even like men, I know men that get with women, they don't work, and the woman bringing everything to the table. You also submit some power too, because if you're in a situation where the opposite sex is bringing more to the table than you, that means you have to be a certain way. Like let's say you a man and you with a woman, and this woman has everything, you have nothing, then you go cheat on her. She can kick you out. Now what you gonna do? So the goal is to have your own stuff, so you can always be prepared for whatever can happen. I feel like.
Yeah, and that's my feeling on the matter too. Is that I've never, especially myself, I've never needed a man or looked at a man for his income. Now he has to be able to take care of himself and pay his own bills without my help, pay for dates and buy presents. That's all I require. And he can do that at any salary. Depending on how much it is and how financially wise he is. Because I always had my own. And, because like my dad, and as a matter of fact, my dad said when we were teenagers in high school, he said, because he had 3 girls, and he said, I'm looking out here and these guys do not like me because my mother never had to work as long as she was married to him. Sometimes she did, sometimes she didn't. She got tired of the job, she quit it, you know. But because he was always there to provide, he never knew how much she made on her jobs. He never knew what she was being paid. It didn't matter because she had her certain roles in the house that she had to fulfill, whether she was working or not. But she didn't have to. Sometimes she did, sometimes she didn't. She would go be unemployed for years at a time, you know. But he said to us, you know, these guys aren't like me out here anymore. They are dependent on women to have a job. Sometimes takes two income. He said, you girls have been raised and you used to live in a certain lifestyle, so you're gonna have to go to college. You're gonna have to graduate so that you can be able to afford your own lifestyle because you cannot depend on these guys out here. They're not like me anymore, you know. And so he said it to all of us, and all three of his girls graduated from college, you know. And so you know, and so that's one of the reasons why how much he made was not a big concern to me. And I feel like seriously, these people who are pushing their hardcore with the hypergamy and with the high value man, high value woman, I feel like they came from poverty. I really do. Because to me, somebody who's that driven and that focused and they're willing to make their life decisions, who's the father of your child, you know, who are you going to spend your life with? You're willing to make that decision based on how much he earns. To me, that's a poverty mindset. I feel like you came from poverty and that you don't ever want to go back there. And your fear of poverty is greater than, you know, your need for love or your need for, you know, to find your soulmate. You need to, you know, have this great companionship. Your need for the money. I feel like you had a severe poverty issue. Something happened to you, you know, that made you feel like money is what has got to decide all of this. And you know, and there's certain people, I won't call their names because I'm sick of talking about him. You know, I think he came from poverty. One of these people who came up with these theories, I think he straight up came from poverty because I hear poverty, you know, when he talks, you know, and it's some other things too I saw as well. But I hear poverty at the bottom of all of that, you know, for people to be that warped, that because the thing I've never been poor, and I've never known poverty or hunger or any of that, and so that might be why it's not important to me because I've never been poor, I've never been without, so maybe that's why it's not important to me. I don't know, but I kind of feel like that's underneath there, that money is what's driving you. So now let me ask you as a man. How would you say you feel about women who are hypergamous?
I mean, I probably wouldn't. I mean, I don't think it's gonna match me because the only thing she's worrying about is getting a high level man. And let's just say she doesn't consider me a high level man, then I ain't feeling it. Because I mean, that's the same scenario Kevin Samuels pushing, and I don't agree with it. So I feel like I don't know. I mean, I might have met some women like that, but I really don't know because I mean they never say anything about it. But if they pushing for what I have more than what they really like me, then we ain't gonna be on the same page.
Yeah. You know, and my thing is, you know, because really, and it's so funny because the women who promote hypergamy, it's like they're at odds with the men who are saying they want high value man, high value woman. They seem like they're at odds, but they're actually the same thing. It's like they're the same side of the same coin. She's saying marry up, and he's saying be up so she'll choose you. You know, and so to me it's the same thing. But for some reason those two groups are at war. I don't know why, but somebody was explaining it to me that they were at war, which I didn't know because I've been on here like 2 years, but I wasn't really like serious about being a YouTuber until like maybe the last 6 or 7 months or so. And I think some of my old videos I'm gonna redo them because I had a smaller audience. But those guys, I feel like they're the same. So if you knew when a woman came up to you, or what, because I guess these women are coming up to the men now. If you knew that a woman you met was only interested in you because of your income, she was only attracted to you initially because of your income, would you still want to date her?
If I only think she liked me for my income, no, I wouldn't want to date her because I mean, like,
Well,
because income comes and go. If she let me know that up front, that's all she want from me, then I wouldn't be interested because
so let's say
at
she's
the
a
end of the
bad
day,
girl
money.
now. She's a bad girl now. Say I don't know what your standard is. Say she's Beyonce or she's Megan the Stallion and she got it popping all up and down, you know.
She could be
And he's
Megan Thee
out here.
Stallion. She could be a Beyonce. She could be any of those because it ain't gonna work. Yo, I mean, it's just gonna be some fun. Like we gonna have fun. But at the end of the day, I know you only like me for my money. It ain't gonna work out. It ain't gonna be nothing serious. I'm not gonna take that serious.
Yeah, and that's my thing is with the whole Kevin Samuels theory. You know she's only with you because of your money. So what happens if you don't have your money? Number one, but you know that's the only thing she wants you for. How does that really make you feel if the only thing she wanted you for was your money? And so I don't get that, but I guess it ain't for me to get. But and so
I mean,
do you?
my thing is Kevin Samuels. how would he feel if that's what I mean? So he pretty much saying that's what women gonna come to him for. Because if women come for Kevin Samuels, they're gonna be looking at his value of his money. So I guess he's trying to say that's the type of women come for him or something. I don't know.
Hmm. So so my thing is that how's that flattering to you as a human being? And the thing is that, and that's my issue with his thing. And I guess we can move on because we're moving on to moving on to the high value system. Um, but do you feel like there's any danger in the hypergamy for women?
I mean, I definitely think it could be some danger in it because their feelings getting hurt, them getting in a bad situation. Because if you go choose this man with all this money, and it's definitely men out here that feel like they can buy women. You might get into a bad situation because it's men out here who might, okay, let's say it's this woman. She don't make very much money, but she's very beautiful. He make a lot of money. He want to make her his wife. He definitely gonna have some controlling issues. He definitely could be beating her. He definitely could be doing a lot because he gonna be feeling like I'm bringing all this money to the table. You living this good lifestyle. Anything could be going on. You might not even
Right.
be paying attention to what type of man he is. You just worrying about his pockets, man. I don't think that's a good. I wouldn't teach my daughter nothing like that.
Right. Because it may be a high price that he's charging for that money that you're
Yeah,
getting. And you got to do
yeah.
something for it. And his price might be high. So that is a danger. Do you feel like there's any danger for men in the whole hypergamy
Um,
scenario?
yeah. I think if a man trying to marry women for what they got and high, I think it can be some danger. Like he giving up some kind of power. If because I mean he might be living that good lifestyle, but at the end of the day, I think it could be. It just depends though. I mean, it definitely. I mean, women ain't abusing men, but at the same time, it would depend on what kind of woman. Because I mean, unless this is how I feel. Unless I don't know how that's gonna go. She making $1 million a year and you ain't bringing nothing to the table. I mean, I don't know how that's gonna go. I mean, a
And
situation
well,
like
I have
that
heard
could happen. I don't know. I mean, it's
because
gonna
I
be
know a lot of.
somewhere.
Mhm.
Think
Go ahead. I'm
about it. She
sorry.
gonna be living a different life. She gonna be living a different lifestyle. So I don't know how this gonna go.
Mhm. And I have heard, especially a lot of celebrity women who have said that it is very difficult when they make more money than the man. It's very difficult. A lot of self-esteem, ego issues come up. A lot of resentment. The men often resent, especially I notice even when two celebrities are together, the men typically resents her for having more and for being more successful or for being even more famous. A lot of them have said that. A lot of them, from Barbara Streisand to a lot of them, the white ones and the black ones. When she makes more money, it's a problem. It's a problem. Um, and
Now I
so,
do feel that I don't feel every man would care. Like me personally, if I had a woman making more money than me, it wouldn't bother me. As long as she's not trying to dominate me. If she got more money than me, that's cool with me. I don't care.
okay. So how do you feel like a man? What do you actually feel like a man's role is in a relationship?
I mean, it depends on if you're going by the Bible standards or you just going by regular standards. I feel like the man he should be the leader. I think he's the head of the household. But at the same time, if you requiring both of them to have money, I mean, I think everything should be split evenly down. But at the same time, definitely the man has a little bit different role. He's the leader. He's supposed to be the head of the household. But at the
Right.
same time, unless he want to be, I think it's the man's choice. If he's the leader and the head of the household, if he don't want his woman to work and she's cool with that, that's cool. That's their household. But me, I would want a woman who can bring half to the table because I think if we both making up $300,000 a year, why don't we both split it in half? Then we both will be happy because I mean we both gonna be growing together. I don't think it's gonna be cool. I'm making $300,000 and you making $40,000 a year, and it's only cool if I think it's cool, or the people in the relationship.
Right, right. And I know that, and that's one thing I said was a danger for hypergamy is that you might hypergamy yourself out of the game because but I do believe that if you're lower class, then you probably will get along better with somebody lower class. If you're middle class, then you probably get along better with somebody middle class. But I feel like as far as marrying up goes, if I make $100,000 and he makes if I make $600,000 and he make $100,000, am I going to say, oh, that's marrying down? But you're both middle class. He understands your lifestyle. He travels probably in the same circles. So my thing is, how far are we going to go with this? To me, that's the danger of it. It's going too far. If I make 3 million and he make 1 million, I'm not going to talk to him because that's down. We both millionaires. So to me, that was my thing. that's the danger in it. It's getting too extreme with it. How far are we going with this? Because you might end up, canceling yourself out of the game when really he understands you, he understands your lifestyle. Because to me, that's the biggest thing with these social changes is learning what's required to be in that lifestyle. And so to me, that's the danger of it for men and the women, is that you might be putting yourself out of the game for meeting some really, wonderful people. And as far as the roles, now this is one thing too that a lot of people actually don't agree with me with, is that my background is Christian. My parents are both ministers, and so I'm gonna come from that background, that standpoint. I am for headship, and I do believe that the man should be the leader. I do believe that because we were never created to be leading the household. We were designed to be helpers. Okay, we were supposed to be helping somebody. That's all we were ever supposed to do was help. Okay, so we were never designed to be the head of household, which is why I think a lot of the problems do happen in the Black community that we have, because we were never designed to be that way. And a lot of these women, I think, have lost their minds, under the weight of trying to be the head of household, because we weren't designed to do that. They out there fighting and cussing and carrying on and all this kind of stuff, with the men, you're not supposed to be doing all that, but the thing is that I feel like they have really lost their minds doing something they weren't ever designed to do. And I feel like that's where the gap between us comes as Black men and Black women, not growing up together for the past 40 years or so. And we have forgotten how to talk to each other and how to be together and how to be with each other. And so, but a lot of them, I feel like they deserve some kind of understanding and compassion, because they have lost their minds, and you might have to help them get it back, And so I think it's like, just be patient and try to help us get our minds back, and because we were never designed to be leaders, but a lot of us have been, 72%. And Kevin and his folks argue with that statistic, but that statistic has not been refuted yet. So, I can go ahead on somewhere with that. And as far as working, I think it's up to the people involved whether they want to work or not, but y'all have to be in agreement with that before you actually get married. When you first have a baby, you do want to stay home with your baby. But by the second kid, you kind of be like, I'm ready to go home. This baby, I'm sleeping all day, and so I'm ready to go back to work, So unless you're one of those people who, immerse themselves into it, it is our instinct as mothers, especially as a new mother, you don't want to do nothing but look at that baby all day, and wait for them to move, and make everything perfect for them. That's like I feel like a natural instinct. That's what you really want to do. And I would resent having to go to work or go to school. At the time I was also in college. I would resent having to go and leave that baby, because that baby was just the most amazing thing ever. And so men like, oh, women don't want to work. That's not it. It's more so that's their instinct is to stay with that baby. That's all they want to do. And so I get that. And hopefully, I feel like women feel like hypergamy will allow them to do that, because it's a very strong instinct. And I guess a man would not know how strong it is, when you're not the mother, because the child never leaves their mind. Even when they're at work, school, whatever they're doing, the child is always in their mind. They're like, I wonder if the kid is eating yet. They have the coat on. Ooh, it's so cold out here. I didn't put an extra t-shirt in the bag. They're thinking about all of that all day long, every second, every day. They're thinking about that kid, and they do want to be home with that baby. So, because I heard Kevin say that to one of these women, these Black women don't want to work. Gosh, these Black women don't want to work. But this is somebody who has never had a child and does not know how consuming that is for women, having that child, even if it's just one child. That's all we think about is that kid. And I really resented having to go to work and leave that kid, because I just wanted to stay with her, so there is that, as far as, and I feel like that's a part of hypergamy, is that I want to be with a man that's able to let me stay home and just be the best mother I can be. And I just want to cook and clean and have all the stuff ready. And I have the slippers and all that when you get home, but that's actually what they want to do. But that's a natural, normal instinct for them to be that way. And it's not, they don't want to work, because if you think taking care of a baby 24/7 is not work, I'm here to tell you, you highly wrong. And maybe you should try it and see. But so I feel like that's all of that is kind of riding underneath hypergamy. Maybe some poverty issues in the past, that strong instinct to stay with that baby and make them the best they can be. I feel like all of that's kind of riding under that hypergamy issue. It's not they're greedy, they're gold digging, or that they're necessarily, lazy, you don't want to work. It's that there's other instincts bubbling underneath that. And I think that sometimes we look at things from our point of view and we don't see what could be under their point of view, or we just flat out don't even ask what's underneath that. And so, so that's that, as far as the hypergamy one goes. So we can kind of move over to, high value man, high value woman. Now, this is my understanding of the high value man definition from watching Kevin Samuel's video.
Okay.
The high value man has to he has to earn six figures, which is not even hard to do. Okay, especially if you're in the right field. You have to earn six figures. He said you have to have the six figures for 5 years. You have to be influential, have high value contacts, a bunch of other people, and the community at large has to recognize you as being high value. Okay, so that's what it takes to be a high value man. So is that your understanding of what that definition is for high value?
I mean, that's what he tried to say it is. I mean, having influential contacts and six figures. I mean, I can understand. I don't know if I never had nobody say nothing about when I was coming up about being a high value man. I just know you had to try to do something with your life, told to go to college, told to try to make a good living. But at the same time, though, I don't know if I agree with Kevin Samuels on that high value stuff because I heard him say stuff about it, and he was talking about men got to be making $200,000 a year. They got to be around certain people, and I mean, definitely, if you can make that kind of money and you can have these kind of contacts and these unique people around you, that's cool though. At the same time, I wouldn't push for it because every man not gonna have that type of money, but it just depends on what you think. I think high value man is just up to the person, in my
Right.
opinion.
Right, and that's one thing I said on my I did another video about why I don't like the term high value, because the thing is that this high value concept only values money and beauty. That's all that they value. For men, all they value is their money. And to me, money is not that big of a deal. It's not that important. Money will come, money will go. I've always had money. I always will have money. You know, um, you know, barring the zombie apocalypse, I'm always going to have money. But so to me, money is not that important because I would just wanted to be comfortable. I don't have to be rich. I don't have to have the biggest house. And one thing I noticed too is that when I was doing volunteer work and I would be walking through these very rich neighborhoods, the rich people were never home. They were always out working and trying to, and doing this job, doing this deal, on this trip, on this conference, at this, retreat, at this. They were always working or thinking about working or going to work, which is great if you love working. Because I actually did date a wealthy guy who he loved working, and I would complain about it, seeing him, he wasn't there. He'd be like, "I'm working, come over," and I would. It's not like he was lying to me because I would go over there and he was showing up in the office working, and and so he was there. He loved his job. He loved his job. And and sometimes I would be at the house and he's in the room working and I'm sitting right out there. And the thing is that they think they want these men, but these men are not there. They're not there a lot because they are working hard to get that money and they're consumed with it. They're obsessed with it. They love it, and that's fine. But the thing is that you think you want that, but you're gonna be alone a lot because they love that money and those big homes and all those cars and stuff like that. They're not in them. They have them, but they're rarely in them until they retire. So it's like you think that money is going to bring you all this happiness and it's going to be great, but it's not necessarily the case. A lot of them end up cheating, having affairs and all kind of stuff, because you're not there. She's sleeping with the gardener. She's sleeping with the pool boy. We all heard them stories because he's not there. And so, and the thing is that, does having that money really make you high value? To me, it's not. It's not what makes you high value. Because to me, the money is just to provide, food, shelter, and clothing, and that's all it's for. And so, the value of a person is who they are inside. Are they kind? I think the most important thing in a relationship is kindness, compassion. Well, aside from love goes without being said. When I did the research on what do women want most, I did 3 articles, in 3 magazines, and the top 3 was, aside from love, that's understood, it was kindness. That was number 1 that they wanted, and the second one was respect. Now Kevin, his high value system, I haven't seen him be kind or respectful, to except Tommy Lee. Tommy Lee was the only person I saw him be kind and respectful to, and Tommy Lee is a criminal. Have you seen her mugshots? She's got more mugshots than she's been alive. Somebody wrote that in the comments, and that's who he was kind and respectful to. She's high value according to his standards. Tommy Lee from Love and Hip Hop is high value, so
because of money, her status.
No,
because of money and
music.
status. Yeah, her music, but he treated her differently because she's like a star compared to the other women. If he knew he couldn't do her like that, that's probably why he knew not to do nothing like that. Like he feel like these average women and men that come on there, he can do them like that. If Jay-Z came on his show, he definitely wouldn't come at Jay-Z like that.
Yeah, and so You know, well, Jay-Z would be his high value standards. Not, the thing that kills me is he gave himself a 9. He rated himself as a 9 on his 1 to 10 scale. But the thing is that, how are you a 9 when, you know, I guess Jay-Z would be a 10. You're not no 9 because you're not making Jay-Z
No.
money. When I looked up what his salary was, it was under 400,000. It was like 380,000 a year or something like that, and that's reported by him. We don't know if that's true or not, but you know, 300,000. That's not no number 9. You're not number 9 that's not making 300,000. Maybe if you're making 800,000 or 7, or maybe even 900,000, then you might be a high value man. But 300,000, not on 1 to 10
I mean,
scale. Mm-hmm.
he making good money and stuff, but it depends on what scale. He definitely ain't on no Jay-Z level. I mean, come on now, but he's
He says he's
successful.
a Yeah, he says he's a 9 on a 1 to 10 scale. But he gave Beyonce an 8 on the 1 to 10 scale. Beyonce's an
Oh
8
no, he not on a higher level than Beyonce. Beyonce making
because
more money. If you're going by this money, he definitely ain't on Beyonce level.
no, he says the only value in women is their appearance, is how attractive they are they fit, and can they have kids, and that's their value, and that's one thing too that I have an issue with, and I don't see why women support him because he has totally reduced the entirety of who you are to what you look like and can you have kids. That's all he's interested in. What you look like, can you have kids? He doesn't know. He doesn't care if you're an idiot. He doesn't care if if you would waste his money, give it away. If you would, he doesn't care anything about that. All he wants is for you to look good and to have kids. And that's it. That makes you high value for a woman. That's the complete value of a woman. And he's even said that men don't really need women except to have kids or to have sex. And so the thing is that that's the value he places on women. With his whole little
He a
theory.
different character. I
Yeah.
mean, Kevin Samuels is a different character, though. I don't go by what Kevin Samuels be talking about because to me, he
Yeah.
a con artist, but
Yeah. Yeah, he
he's
is.
a different guy.
It's a money grab for him. And
Yeah.
and so this one now the woman she has to be beautiful, fit, and childless. Now, as a man, what would you say you think is most valuable in a woman?
Um, and a woman I want to talk to, I want to have a good personality. She got to have a good personality because, I mean, definitely looks matter because we looking at the person, but at the same time, she could be pretty and I can't get along with her because I definitely want her to have a personality and be down to earth. Really, I'm looking for somebody that I can after besides sex, money, and everything, when all that stuff is gone to the side, is I'm gonna be able to get along with this woman. If we can get along and enjoy each other, then I can deal with her. If it's on a serious level.
Yeah, I think he said his other criteria was she has to be agreeable or cooperative is what he says. To me, that translates do whatever I say.
Yeah,
She's
yeah. And I mean, that's cool if he find a woman who's gonna do this. There's women out here who will submit to him in that way if that's what he want. He
mm-hmm.
gonna have to find that type of woman that's gonna submit to him in that way.
But the question is, will
But
they
is she
stay?
gonna be happy?
And is she gonna stay because he's twice divorced and not married now? Is she gonna stay? She might,
Right.
because the thing is, that's what I said. They get in there and they think that's what they want, but after they get in there and they see what it is, they're like, I don't want this, or they cheating on him. They're like, yeah, give me the money, and you go to work, and while you go out, I'll sleep with the pool boy, and stuff like that. So if that's all you are to her and that's all she is to you, that is not a recipe for happiness. That's not a recipe for longevity. 2 women already left him because he like to tell people, your life has shown you that you're not. His life has shown me that he's not right. Your life has shown you that your own theory doesn't work because 2 women left you and your 6 figures. So that's my thing is that the emphasis being placed on money is not enough, and I don't understand why they don't realize it's not enough. And I think that they don't realize it's not enough is because they've never had money and they grew up in poverty, and they feel like the reason for all their problem was because I was poor, so I got to work, and then I'm going to be happy because I'm gonna get a cute woman, and then when they get it, they realize they're not. Let's see. Now, do you feel like, and this is one thing that he says too, for a woman to say that I want a man who, and I feel like a lot of these women that call, they're saying they want a high value man. They're not. I don't think they necessarily mean 6 figures. I don't necessarily think that they mean a millionaire. I think they just want a man who can take care of them and a family. In all honesty, because when you hear them talk, and because he talks and he makes them lose their self-esteem. Then it goes saying, well, maybe he can make 80, maybe. So those women, when they call it, they could be like, well, maybe not, maybe. If you can do all that, that means that's not what you ever really wanted. All you wanted was security. All you wanted was someone who can take care of you and a family. And you don't have to have 6 figures to do that. So a lot of those women are not saying that the average guy is not good enough for them. They're not saying middle class isn't good enough for them. I don't think that that's what they really want, but that's not his agenda. His agenda is to tear them apart and make them realize that they don't deserve any of what they ask for. You know, and if you do, then he's got some men in a group that he wants you to meet. You know, and you can join his group. And so, do you feel like them saying that they want a high value man means that they don't want an average guy? I do.
I mean, if a
Is that
woman
the
come to
message you
me and
get?
say,
Yeah.
if a woman come to me and says she want a high value man, it's definitely I'm gonna take it as she wants somebody who is, you know, he got some high values. I mean, I'm gonna take it as I'm gonna ask her though. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be like, what do you mean you need a high value man? What are you talking about? I want to know what she talking about because she might tell me something I don't know, but I'm gonna definitely know she looking for something different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so that I feel like that's a good approach because then you find out what it is she actually wants. Because it may not be that she needs you to have six figures or to be wealthy, as long as you can make her comfortable, which a lot of people can do with six figures or less, especially if she works. And so and the way they talk, it seems like being average, like you're average at best. Um, when I first that's how I first actually watched this video. Actually, I first heard of him when I was on a panel, and somebody else said, "Oh, like what Kevin Samuels said," and they went back and forth a little bit. I didn't know who Kevin Samuels was, so I went and looked it up, and I was like, "Oh, this guy." And I watched High Value Man. His High Value Man was like 5 minutes maybe, and I was like, "Oh, okay." And so he's saying this, and then I realized, okay, he got different high value for men and women. Then I was like, okay. And then I watched because I watched 4 videos. I couldn't stand to watch more than 4 videos of his. So I felt like I had the gist of him, and I did my video on him. I felt like he was a predator, and I needed to warn people about him, and that's why I made my video. And I didn't know that other people had made videos against him. And when I saw it, I was like so happy. I was like, oh my gosh, okay, so everybody else realized this guy is a predator too, and this guy's dangerous to us too. That's great. So together, hopefully, you know, the voice of the village can actually just warn our children about him. And so, but he makes it feel like being an average guy is a dirty. You know, like she said, you're average at best. You're average at best. When did average guy, average girl get to be bad? Because I consider myself an average girl and an average world, you know. And so so an average guy is fine with me. So at what point did average get to be bad as far as your man and woman? Like I don't want to be an average achiever. I always give me an assignment, I'm going to do above average. You know, I'm going to exceed expectations if you give me an assignment. You know, but the thing is that, so I'm not saying that in that aspect being an underachiever or average achiever, but in the average of like an average guy, the average ordinary everyday guy. When did that become a bad word? Because it seemed like he's making it a bad word to be average.
But see, my thing about him is who gonna call in? Anybody that calls in looking for advice on where you at in life, then you got some issues anyway. Because I'm definitely not gonna. If I call in on Kevin Samuel's show, I already know what my status is. I don't need him to tell me. So as soon as he tell me I'm below average, I'm like, no, buddy, I'm but not a below average. He can't tell me that because I already know where I put
Right.
myself at. So if you
Right.
going on the show and you let him belittle you, I don't care if you go on his show and you let him tell what kind of status or where you at in life, then something wrong because he don't know none of these people personally. But these people are calling his show and letting him tell them where they stand. They'll tell a little bit about themselves, and he'd be like, "Oh, you below average." I mean, come on now. There's no way I would go on his show and let him talk to me like that. We would not get along.
Yeah, and my thing is that he can tell somebody they're below average, like say he's a 9. You know how many people dispute him down that he's a 9? So him telling me that you're not a 9, you average at best. You know, why is him telling me that of any more worth than me telling him you ain't no 9, you average at best? So you know how that's my thing is that the value that his words have been given by these people is out of proportion to what he actually deserves. This man is not qualified to judge you and tell you what your rating is. He's not qualified to do that. And you know, and the thing is that, and I actually secretly feel like Kevin doesn't. He's not a six figure. I'm not gonna say he don't earn six figures. I'm gonna say I don't feel like he associates with six figure people. I have a lot of friends who are six figures. I work with people who six figures more, and their mentality is not the same as his. I don't feel like he's around them. I feel like they have hired him to give them advice on which tie to put with what suit, and they talk a little bit, and he thinks he knows who they are and what they want, but he doesn't. And it's limited to just his clientele. Who is his clientele? Where are they from? What do they do? They just asked you which handkerchief to put in that suit. That's all they asked you, you know, and that's all. And so they're going to talk to him like he's the help. They're not going to tell you what they really think, what they really do. They're not going to cut you on the deals they make. because you're not their peer. So he's speaking as if he's their peer and he knows what they want. He goes where they go and do what they do. And he doesn't. He's the help. He's a servant. And they tell him what most rich people tell their servants. You know, they're not your friends. You're not hanging out with them because his mentality is not the same. It's not the same. And the people that follow him, their mentality isn't high value. You know, all that gutter speak, you know, playing the music and the sound effects. See, and that's why I feel like it's a money grab for him. It's a gimmick. It's a game. He's playing all these sound effects to entertain the crowd who are not six-figure men. You know,
he's an entertainer. He does this for YouTube. He's making money. He's an entertainer. That's pretty much what he's doing. He acts the way he acts because it entertains people. Right. But he's trying to say, I mean, I think it's up to the person. If you get on there thinking he can tell you something good, that's on you. Because, I mean, he can give you some advice, but it don't mean he know what he's talking about. And he might know what he's talking about, but at the same time, if you go on there looking for him to change, if you go on there looking for him to change your life by what he says, then I don't know, you might got some deep issues or something.
Yeah. And, you know, you think he might know what he's talking about based on what? Is he a certified life coach? Is he a certified relationship coach? Is he anything educated at all in what he's doing? He's not, because the words he uses, those people who are educated in that way, they realize the power of words. They realize that words can motivate you and that words can destroy you. And they would never speak that way. He's not qualified to do what he's doing. You know, giving people life advice, decisions to make, you know, and giving him that kind of authority when he doesn't deserve it. He's not earning of it, and he's dangerous with it, in my opinion. You know, and so my thing is that he doesn't know what he's talking about because he hasn't been trained. These are his ideas, his opinions, his theories, and they have no more value than mine does. You know, and this is the thing I was telling somebody, like Tommy Sotomayor, he and Kevin are the same thing, except Kevin's got on a suit. He's Tommy Sotomayor in a suit. I've never done a video on Tommy Sotomayor because he doesn't present himself as if he is a professional. He's not sitting up there in a suit and a tie and doing all this stuff and, you know, and you know, got candles on in a dim, cluttered room, you know, telling people they're going to die alone, go back to an abusive husband. You know, he's not presenting himself like he's a professional and say, I'm a counselor. But based on what? I'm an advisor. Based on what? You know, because you met a few guys, you told them which tie to put on today, and that makes you a counselor, you know, on what these people want and what I'm capable of. You know, so to me, that's the danger of him, is him presenting himself as if he's a professional and if he knows what he's doing, as if he's trained at what he's doing. That is what makes it dangerous, because somebody might actually listen to him based on his presentation. And to me, that's what makes it dangerous. And just because they might be gullible or slow, does not mean they deserve for Kevin to tell them, you know, go back to an abuser, you know, call them.
But I will say this though, he may be dangerous, but at the same time, why are people letting him be this dangerous? People have to let him be dangerous. This is like Tommy Sotomayor. I talked to Tommy, and people say a lot of things about him. I don't agree with a lot of stuff Tommy say in his content, but at the same time, he didn't seem like he was that bad a person. But my thing is, the people have the choice on who you want to follow. If you're gonna follow these people, that's them. Like, I can't say Kevin is dangerous to me because I'm not gonna follow Kevin Samuels. I'm not gonna follow none of them. So at the end of the day,
he's dangerous because he's acting like he's a professional and he's not. Because Tommy, if you want to follow Tommy Sotomayor, go right on ahead. Because he's flat out say, this is what my opinion, this is what I think, this is my opinion, this is my show, this is what I think. He flat out say that. So to me, he's no danger, because if you like what he's saying, go ahead and follow him. You know.
But at the same time,
follow him. But he's sitting up there like he's a professional, and he's not.
But I think Tommy is just as dangerous, because if Kevin's dangerous, Tommy is too. Tommy's not saying he's a professional, but he has a follower. Anytime you have a group of followers, you can lead their mind. I mean, you'd be surprised how many people hit me up defending Tommy Sotomayor on things he be saying. And I'm like, it's a lot of people. He might got a bigger following than Kevin Samuels, because a lot of people follow. I think he still does. I just think a lot of his stuff is getting banned and a lot of people are harassing him. Tommy Sotomayor has a big following, so it's a lot of people who agree with him. They two different people.
Yeah, because I see that his when I looked at his platform the other day, it was like 20,000, 25,000, and so. But at one point, he was well over 700,000 or 800,000. You know, Kevin, he had way more followers than Kevin does. But once they knocked his platform down. You know,
I think he still has just as many. It's just that he has been getting his sites flat. He has like 3 websites. I think he still has that big of a following. It's just that he does his stuff on OnlyFans, and a lot of people keep flagging him. I think he's just as big as Kevin Samuels. They about the same bigness. They about the same bigs.
You know, but Kevin jumped from 80,000 to 400,000 in what, a 6 to 8 month time span. That's not organic. It's not organic growth. It's not. It's not organic growth. It just isn't.
Yeah.
Nobody does that. Somebody's backing him. Somebody's backing Tommy Sotomayor too, in my personal opinion now. So now, are you? So how would you describe yourself? Would you describe yourself as an average guy or a high value man?
I mean, I definitely think I'm an average guy. I mean, like, definitely I strive to be the best me and everything else, but it just, I mean, I'm an average guy. I mean, yeah, I mean, like, I want to be, I don't know about that high value thing. Like, yeah, okay, I look at myself as high value, but I don't think I'm better than nobody. Yeah, I definitely think I'm a high value man, but at the same time, I'm not walking around here like, but people are beneath me.
Right.
I'm an average guy.
Kevin,
I think
if you look at him, his value is low. He attracts low value too. Look at his contacts. When you see some of these things these people have been writing to me.
I mean, I think it's all a mindset too, though. It's a mindset. My mindset is that my mindset is I'm on the same level as anybody else. Because if you can get to that level, you can get to that level. Because a lot of these people started out, how you gonna be? It was just like I heard this rapper say one time that when I was at the bottom, I belonged there. So it's just all about your mindset and where you're gonna thrive in life, though. If you think you're at the bottom, you're gonna stay at the bottom.
You know, and that's one of the reasons why I've never envied any of these rich people. Because my thing is like, I feel like my brain is just as big as Oprah Winfrey's brain. And if I want to do what she's doing, then I can. There's no reason I can't. But the thing is that it's just, what are you willing to do? Because now I know good and well, I'm not willing to do what Oprah has done to get where she is. Oprah does not have children. Oprah is not married. Oprah has, because she valued her career and her money and all that more than anything else. So things she's given up and sacrificed, the things that she's done and is still having to do, I believe, behind the scenes that we're not aware of or privy to. The things that those people have done to get where they are, I'm not willing to do it. And I know that. So I'm not envious of any of those people. That's why I said all I need to do is be comfortable. I need to have some nice clothes. I need to have some nice jewelry. I need, stuff like that. I need my room to be pretty, so that's all I need, and because at some point in your life, you have to ask yourself, what do I need to have to be happy? Do I need to have millions of dollars? Do I need to? But a lot of those people who are willing to do anything to get ahead, they have come from poverty. They've come from dirt and filth, and they don't ever want to go back there. Don't do anything to not go back there. So people like those Oprahs and those Jay-Z's, they came from the gutter, and so, so that do anything to get ahead, they'll do it. And they've gotten that reward. So for them being there, I don't begrudge them being there because I'm not going to do what they did to get there. And I know that. I don't want to. So to me, them having that money doesn't mean anything to me. It doesn't make them better than me. It's just you just was willing to do stuff I wouldn't. So to me, saying I'm an average girl, I'm good with that. Why is it a dirty word? I don't know, but it isn't. Somebody just told you it was, and if somebody was, is not even qualified to tell you that. Now, so would you say that there's that what is it that would you say that makes you actually valuable, you as a man?
Okay, actually, you said what makes my value?
Yeah, what do you think makes you valuable?
I mean, I think what makes me value is my personality because I know how to make other people happy around me, smile. I enjoy life. I mean, one of my strongest attributes is my smile. So this mask just messing my whole life up right now. I can't smile and show people my smile. So I think definitely my first impression. So when people see my smile and how easy it is to come to me, and I think listening to people, that's things I practice on. Because if you're a good listener, people will open up to you. So that's some of my value that makes me high value, like being a good listener, how people can easily approach me, and how I make people feel comfortable around me, and making other people laugh and smile and stuff like that. Like people enjoy being around me.
Right. And so in your opinion, what is a high value woman?
Okay, in my opinion of a high value woman. Now, if I just want to think of just a regular woman that's high value, it's definitely somebody who has they're making good money. They probably making good money, or like I could say Beyonce is a high value woman. But if I'm talking about like average people, to me, if I was looking for a high value woman, it's gonna be that, she has a good personality, she's natural, she don't have to wear this, I don't got nothing against women that wear weave and stuff, but I would like a woman that's natural, a woman that loves herself, that's natural. And she has like, she's able to bring something to the table. She's friendly to be around. She's easy to get along with and stuff like that.
Okay. And so and the thing is that none of that has anything to do with what she looks like, except for the weaving or whatever, but that's just a hair preference. Which we wear wigs to give our own hair a break, okay? Because we have to give our hair a rest. But
Right.
you don't have to wear a wig. But actually, it took me a while to give up the weave now because my weaves used to be off the chain. But you could go back to my videos and see my weaves. I was a weave queen. But
I mean,
but I gave it up because of the
yeah.
pandemic. That's the only reason I started with my hair was because of the pandemic. And if it had never come, I would have on a weave right now. But when I couldn't get there, I was like, okay, well, I got to try this, I guess. And then I figured out how to eventually, over time, get it to look like how I wanted it to look. But it was hard to actually give it up. And I didn't realize how much of that standard of European beauty I was adhering to until I gave it up. And I actually, you know what happened? I wouldn't film for a month because I was uncomfortable with how I looked without that weave. And I didn't feel like I was cute anymore. I didn't want to be seen. I didn't want to film. I didn't want to be seen. I didn't go anywhere for a month. It took me a month to get used to what I look like without the weave, which actually was a big revelation for me that was happening. But as far as a high value man, in my opinion, to me, he's got to be quick. He's got to be clever. He's got to be smart. He's got to have a good sense of humor. He's got to be funny. He has to be kind, loving, and adore me. But the thing is that none of that's got anything to do with his salary. And the things you listed have nothing to do with anybody's, appearance except for the weave under that. But the thing is that those things are what really makes life worth living. Are you enjoying the people that you're with? Is there joy? Is there love? Is there, sense of humor? Are there good times? Are there, that's what actually makes life worth living. And both of these theories, hypergamy and the high value, they don't even address that. Kevin has never spoken of love. He said that'll come later. He said don't even look for that. Don't worry about it at all. None of them address love. What are you talking about? Love is what makes you put up with, their shortcomings and their failings and their imperfections. Love is the only thing that's covering that over. Even when a man cheat or whatever, she, might hate him for quite some time, but the ones that don't dump them, it's because of love. So what are you talking about? When you make mistakes and mess up and you're not perfect and you said something wrong and you hurt their feelings, love is the only thing that gets you through all of that. So what are you talking about? It should come later. You don't have to be in love when you get married. That's crazy. He doesn't speak anything about soulmates. I actually believe in soulmates. He doesn't speak about anything like that. I mean, he doesn't talk about companionship. Do we even get along? Do we think the same things are funny? Do we like to do the same things for entertainment? He's acting like none of that matters. Will my friends like this person? Will my family like this person? He's not even said anything about that. What is that person's background? Like, if you come from a two-parent home, which my parents actually just celebrated 54 years together. If that's where you come from, is somebody who's divorced or they grew up in a single-parent home really going to understand what it's like to be married every day, all day? Because I asked my mom, Mom, how long your daddy married? She said, forever. I've never not been married to your daddy. But the thing is that, are you going to make it that long to not even remember when you weren't married? If this person came from a divorce, their solution to a hard time is pitch up and get on out. So the things that are important like that is what you should be looking for. What kind of family background? Do they get along with the rest of their family? If they can't get along with their family, they're not going to last with you. Those are important things that he never even speaks about. And so to me, that's one of the biggest downfall of the whole high value man, high value woman thing. Things that really matter and that would impact. And so when people say, I want her to be fit, I want her to have not kids, I want her to, be looking good and all that. The thing is that, that can change in any given situation. Maybe that is what because just say it for in general, women like tall, dark, and handsome. They want to have muscles and all that. But if you if you're sitting next to a guy in the store or in line and he cracks a joke and you think he's funny, and then you say something, he thought you were funny, and you look, oh, he kind of cute. If he got a little beer belly, you're not gonna do that because he kind of cute and he funny. So my thing is that even if you want somebody that's got a six pack and is fit, because he was cute and funny, you still want to talk to him. So to me, Kevin saying that you have to have this, or you're not, or it's not, you can't get him, or he can't have you, or you can get her if you can make I had a friend told me, he said, if you can make a woman laugh, you can F her. you can have sex with her. You can make her laugh, you can have sex with her. I had a friend that said that. And I was like, that might be kind of. I said that might be kind of true, but but the thing is that and so to me, Kevin doesn't even speak to that in this high value man thing. The fact that I might just be standing next to you. To me, the biggest thing is access. If you're standing next to somebody and you are able to charm them, no, he doesn't make any adjustment for charm. This guy might be charming. This lady might be charming. She might have some dimples when she smiles, and you think she's just amazing to look at. Whereas maybe her face is actually average. But when she smiles, her face light up. When she starts talking, her face light up. He's acting like that stuff doesn't matter, and it does. So maybe she do got more junk in the trunk, but she got the cutest little dimple, and you like the way she looks into your eyes. And so he's acting like those things don't matter and won't impact or influence your attraction and whether or not you want that person. And so that's my biggest thing that I feel like is the biggest thing that's missing from the high value man, high value woman thing. So what do you feel like is the biggest thing that's missing in that high value man, high value woman thing, as far as your ability to get that person?
I mean, I definitely think, well, in that situation, be personality. You know what I'm saying? That plays a big role in high value man, high value woman. Which I have in common. There's a lot of things because are y'all able to get along? You know what I'm saying? And it depends on how far you go. If you're trying to marry this person, that family gonna matter. But at the end of the day, though, if you trying to be with somebody, all that stuff should matter. But at the same time, both people need to have a job. Both people need to be bringing something to the table, in my opinion. But at the end of the day, I think it's all about companionship, getting along with that person. Is this somebody you're going to be looking at to be with for the rest of your life? I mean, after sex and money, can you enjoy this person just sitting around the house when y'all ain't doing anything, y'all just chilling and y'all just looking at TV? Is you going to be able to lay beside this person in the bed every night? Is you going to get up in the morning wanting to be with this person? Stuff like that matters.
Yeah. Yeah, not if he's calling you a broad, snowflake, and sociopath and all those stuff. They know you don't want to talk to him. And so what do you feel like for a man that's dating and said he wants to have a wife? What do you feel like is an acceptable salary for him? Because some of these women say, well, maybe he can have 80,000, maybe. So what do you feel like if you're a grown man? What should your salary be if you say you got a family or you're taking care of them?
I mean, I think if you're making $40,000 a year, you should be. If the woman working, you making $40,000 a year. I think that can take care of family. I mean, look at what people were doing back in the day. I know things are not the same, but if both people making $40,000 a year, that should be enough. But at the same time, it's all about what you're trying to be. I knew people that was making $80,000 a year at a job, and they still was barely surviving. They was living beyond their paycheck and living beyond their income. So at the end of the day, if you're making $80,000 a year, but you trying to live like you're making $120,000, then it's not going to work.
Right. My 20-year-old son just came in and he said $75K. But he's 20 years old. He's still in college. And but the thing is that he grew up middle class, so he's going to be thinking along those lines,
right.
So, but to me,
I definitely feel like you should try to do the best you can. I mean, if you can make $75,000 a year or 100, that's cool. I want to make that kind of money too. But at the same time, I'm not gonna let nobody tell me that's what I gotta have to be with them. No.
Well, and the thing is that what will she need for a woman to feel secure? I feel like personally, I feel like most women would feel comfortable with a man who's making because middle class right now in this country is $45,000 a year. So I feel like most women would be able to get with that. I feel like they would actually, especially if she works as well. And that's something that if you have a baby and you want to stay out a month, work for the first 3 to 6 months, he can float the family for those 3 to 6 months, for you to have a baby. I feel like especially if you're not living beyond your means, if you're living to be comfort and whatever things you like are pretty, you can have those. You can, I feel like, live a comfortable lifestyle if you're fiscally wise, if you're financially sound in your decisions, and you're working together. In all honesty, I think probably 45K. A lot of these women that are calling, I think they'll actually be good with that. Um, as long as he's able to, take care of his own bills without ever asking her for help. As long as he is paying for dates and he gives presents when it's time, I feel like they wouldn't be complaining too much. Because in my opinion, she shouldn't have to be asking him for money. I've never asked a man for money ever that I can recall, because I don't need it. Um, that I can recall, I've never asked a man for money, have I? No. Okay. So, but I do expect gifts when I'm supposed to receive gifts. But the thing is that I also return gifts. I give gifts as well. But I feel like most women would actually, if she's reasonable now, would actually be okay with that. And if she has something going for herself, because my thing is that you shouldn't be looking for a man to take care of you. You should always be able to take care of yourself. What if he dies or drops dead and didn't leave you anything in the will? He left it all to his kids. Then what are you going to do? So there's so many things that could happen that these theories don't accommodate. Um, okay, so outside of this whole high value business, what do you think a man is really, what would you say that men are looking for when they're looking for a wife?
They probably looking for a woman that, they looking for her to be a nice looking woman. They're looking for a woman that's gonna submit. I mean, looks play a value. I think they looking to be with a woman they're gonna marry. I think some men looking for like looks. Is she gonna submit? Is she gonna be a woman that I want to have children with? Her qualities and stuff. And then but it depends though, because some men just don't care if she had good quality. They're just looking for a woman that's beautiful, and that they think their kids are gonna be beautiful. I know some people marry women like, oh, I think I'm gonna have pretty kids with her and stuff like that. So it just depends on the man, because every man has different opinions on what kind of woman he wants to marry.
Right. And that's my whole issue with Kevin, is him deciding they want this, this, and this. And if you don't have that, get out their face. You're not in the game. And to tell people that's not true. Well, just like I said, you could stand up there and charm somebody that you didn't intend to charm, that you had no intentions of charming that woman or man when you left your house. You just happened to be standing beside them. So my feeling is that more than anything, these women that he's saying, oh, you this, you got too many kids, whatever. The thing is that if she's in places where those men are, and I really think low key, that's the only reason those women call, because they want Kevin to get them in places where those men are. Because like he'll say, do you know where those men are? Do you know how? Because they don't know where those men go. And I feel like the only reason they're calling him is to figure out, where do these men go? I want Kevin to introduce me to him. He got him on his group on Facebook because he has them convinced that he has these rich guys there. He knows so many of them, and they're looking for Kevin to find them women, because I guess they're too lazy to look. But I think that's the only reason they're calling, because they want access to these guys. But the thing is that all you have to do is study them. If that's what you really need, if it's important to you, study those types of men. Look and read and research where they go for vacation, where do they go for recreation, where do they go to eat, where do they go to hang out, where do they go? And if you are in those spaces, then you're going to come next to them. And if you strike up a conversation, you get what I'm interested in, you do. So that, to me, that's what is a bunch of bull about what Kevin says, because too many things impact attraction for you to say she got no chance. And my thing is that, and we're talking about submission. So now, what would you say if I tell you this? Most women, in my opinion, are willing to submit to a man. But when they're not willing to submit, it's for one reason and one reason only. She does not trust him. She does not trust you to make good decisions for the family. She does not trust you not to abuse your headship and your authority and become a tyrant. She does not trust you to give you that ability to make those decisions for everyone. She does not trust you. If she does not want you to be headship, she's looking at your life, you're in debt, your credit's bad, or whatever it is, she's looking at your life, and based on your decisions on what she sees in front of her, she does not trust you to be in charge of her, because you haven't done a good job being in charge of yourself. So to me, that's the bigger issue that you have to work on if you have problems with a woman who's submitting. Because like I said, we were designed to help. We were designed to be a team member. We were not designed to lead. And most women that I know, you talk to them and you listen to what they're saying and how they're saying it, they're willing to submit. She doesn't trust you to submit. And they will submit to the correct man. You're just not him. And to me, that's what you need to be working on. Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me ask you a question then. Like, I know some black men, and some men say it's black women don't want to submit. Is that true, or is that just their opinion?
I don't think that's true, actually. And the thing is that And it's also a certain age. When they're very young, they're full of a lot of fire. So you're not going to get to, they're full of a lot of fire and they don't know what they're talking about. They don't know what they're doing. And so sometimes you have to wait for age to mellow them out. You really do. So him saying that you have to be under 25 to get married, that's ridiculous. You're actually pretty stupid. If you think about yourself at 25, think back on yourself at 25. The stuff you thought was true, stuff you thought that was never going to do. You never do this. I'll never do that. All the things I can think of, what I said as a young woman, I'll never do that. I've done them all. I've done every last one of them. And I said, I would never do this. I will never do that. I would never. I've done them all. Okay. So if you think about yourself at 25, because at 25, you think you got it all. You think you know the answers. But you're actually pretty stupid. a lot of us are. Few of us are wise. A lot of us are. We're making stupid choices every day and we're learning from them. So for you to say 25 is the age to cut off, she's still stupid. And as scientists have shown, psychologists have shown that you don't begin to form your permanent personality until you are 27 years old. That's psychology. You can look that up. You do not.
All right, let me ask you a question. Mm-hmm. Now, out of all different women and races, which race of women you think will submit the fastest?
Chinese actually. But the thing is that those races, they come from a male dominant society. It's patriarchal, and the women are actually oppressed. They are oppressed. They are repressed. They are considered to be second-class citizens. They're considered to be of less worth, less value than a man. Because they were aborting in China. They were aborting the female babies, and now guess what? They're in a crisis. They don't have enough females to marry. They're importing females from around the world because the female population is so low now because they were aborting the girls left and right because they were of less value. Now they ain't got no women to have sex with and have kids with. And they're importing women from other places. So, but the thing is that those societies, and even the Spanish society, probably the Spanish women are next. Probably Spanish women are next. The Spanish women, the same thing, male dominant. The women are considered second-class citizens. Those Spanish men do not listen to Spanish women. Actually, African men are the same as well. African women are pretty submissive as well because they don't listen to women. They don't respect women. They oppress women. They're second-class citizens. So you're saying, but the thing is that what kind of man wants a woman who considers herself second-class to be of less value, of less worth? And that's what you need. Somebody who's going to allow you to make any and every decision you want to and not say anything and treat them any and everything any way you want them to. What kind of man wants that woman? An abusive man, okay? An insecure man, okay? A man that you probably wouldn't want. What kind of man wants a woman to be like that? That says a lot about him that he actually wants that kind of woman. And this is the thing. And this is the thing what I said about trust. And I said this in another video I did about Fantasia, about trust. You might come, and Fantasia said this. She said that when she met her husband, she was all yap, 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 and you ain't gonna tell me this, and you ain't gonna do that, and yap, yap, yap in his face. And she said her husband told her, listen, I'm here now, and you don't have to do all that. And she stopped and she learned to submit because the thing is that she was used to being disappointed. She was used to being let down. She was used to being betrayed. She was used to being hurt. And so she came at him as if that's what he was doing, but he wasn't. But he had to say, hey, you don't have to do all that. It's not like that this time. And so when she realized, and she actually trusted him, and she realized that it wasn't that way this time, then she settled in and could work into submission. So some of these women, and that's what I've said before, is that you just have to be patient and work with them. You can get them to come down, but you have to be consistent. And you have to show them that you are not what they've been used to, and you might have to actually tell that to them. It's all that because like the person, like one of my favorite person that I've ever dated, because I refuse to tell what my relationship status is. I refuse to tell because it doesn't validate me. But I remember this one guy that I was saying I was upset about something, and so I was like, oh, and so I had all this attitude and everything, and he was like, okay. After I got through, he was like, okay, well, that's a valid point, and we can remedy that, but all that rah-rah was not necessary. And he was like totally calm. He never got upset. And then I was like, okay. He was like, have you eaten? I was like, no. He was like, well, you go ahead and get something to eat. I'm going to call you back. I was like, okay. And the thing is that, because they've had these experiences, they got their guard up. They might be hard as a brick. They might be hard as a rock coming off. But that is a defense mechanism because they do feel that they have been abandoned by Black men. They do feel they have been let down, and they do feel hurt and betrayed. And you're going to get that, especially at a certain age, especially at a younger age, you are going to get that. But the thing is, if you're consistent and you're calm, you can get her to trust you and actually believe in you. Because I mean, I've actually had one guy I was engaged to. He used to work a lot, and I'll be like, "Where you at? You at work? What? I don't believe you. I'm coming down there." He was like, "Okay, come on." And so he was always there, and sometimes I would go without telling him I'm coming. And I was like, "Where are you at?" He was like, "I'm at work." I'm like, "Okay," and I would go to work. And the thing is that he was there every time I went there. And after a while, when he would tell me I'm at work, I'd be like, "Okay, I'll see you later." It was at that point, because he was consistent, I actually began to trust him. And so I understand it seems like a lot of work, but I feel like, guys are saying that black men won't submit. I feel like they will, but you have to be the one that they're willing to submit to. So that's my little take.
It looked like you and froze on your end because moving around, but your face is not moving around anymore.
Oh, really? Let's see. What's going
No.
on here?
I don't know if it's on my end. I was about to log out and come back in, but I didn't want to do it while you was talking.
So let's see. Well, let's see. And it's still frozen.
Yeah, you're not moving. My head is moving around. I could log on and come back in and see if that's it.
I still see both of us moving around. Let me do this.
Yeah, on my end, you're not moving around. You just, I don't know why. I guess it's on my end. Let me log out and come back in.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to log out and come back in.
Okay. Okay. So we'll take a brief intermission. I don't have any music to play, you guys. Yeah. But yeah, I'm in the room on my other on my backup channel, and I still see us both moving on my channel, and so I think it was him. He just couldn't see us moving, which I still want him to be, able to see us moving. We'll come back. Okay, I see he's back now. 1 second.
All right, yeah, everything's back to normal now.
Okay, yeah, because see, I'm in the room under my backup channel, and so I can see, and I can still see both. I could always still see both of us moving, so it was on your end. Yeah, okay. And so we were talking about submission, and I feel that we can be submissive. I feel that we can, but it would take patience. And the thing is that it's actually worth the wait. And I'm actually quoting my son because he was saying that because a lot of white girls would liked him, and I was telling him don't bring no white girl around here, and so he was saying that it's easy to make white girls smile. They'll laugh and smile at anything. But he said a black girl, you got to work hard to get her to even crack a smile. And he was like, he said, but it's worth it. It's more worth it to take the time to work with the black girl to get her to smile, because then you really know you did something if you can get her to come around. And so to me, I just feel like a lot of men have gotten lazy and they've given up, and they would like an easier option instead of actually working. And in my opinion, to undo the damage that they did, as a whole, maybe not you, but as a whole, because I can't deny that women feel abandoned by black men. They do. That's what if you have to. If I would say if I had to pick one thing that black women have against black men, or there's an issue, they feel abandoned by you. They feel like you left us alone, and then even when you make it big, you go get a white woman, and they feel abandoned. And I feel like that we have to actually heal from that, because that's why I say my channel is about reconnecting and reuniting black men and women. But to do that, we have to address what's actually wrong. And I feel like that's why they're hostile. That's why you can't tell them nothing, because they don't trust you not to abandon them. Okay. And so, but I feel like, and I don't know what men's issues are that actually keep them apart from us. I'm still trying to find it out. Maybe we can find it out together.
Okay. All right. Let me ask you a question. Are you married?
I'm not married. I have been married before, but I said I was not going to tell Kevin and his followers that, but I'm not married. But this is the thing. I'm 49 years old, so I'm good. I'm close to Kevin's age. He's in his 50s. He's like 50 something. And I have 2 adult children. My youngest son is 20. That's my baby.
Okay.
So that part of my life is over. So I feel like I'm a village elder. And so to me, my obligation with this channel, these videos, with my whole t-shirt line and everything, is reconnection and to help us heal, because we actually need that. And so, and my thing is that, and I'm actually the person I'm seeing now. I feel like that person is actually my soulmate, and I feel like I would remarry him again. We've actually talked about that. But the thing is that I feel like you know that there's a rift that we can heal that rift. Um, and so we talked about acceptable salary. Um, so I don't think either one of us believes that this high value man woman thing should be taught to our sons and daughters. Um, and my primary reason why I feel like this should not be taught to our children is because money is not what's going to make you happy. Um, my formula for, I think, a happy life was always good food, good company, good conversation, and a good martini. So to me, that's a good time, and a game of bid whist. Talking some trash, playing some bid whist. Some friends like they play spades and talk trash, but to me that's part of the joy of life. Is you have to be laughing every day. I must laugh every day. And so that's what actually matters, and that's what actually makes life worth living. The good times, the good memories, and you just want to be comfortable. Do I have to have all that? These people have 2 or 3 houses. Do you need 2 or 3 houses? No. So a lot of stuff they have, this iced out rings and all that. A lot of that stuff is ugly. It's a huge necklace and everything, but it's ugly. And so to me, a lot of that stuff is not even necessary or worth having. So I would not teach that to my children. Let me see. So now, as a man, what do you think that women actually want?
Um, I think like I said, it depends on the woman. But some women want men with a lot of money. Some women care about their appearance. You got a lot of women care about what they can do sexually. Some women care about their status. I mean, I think it just all depends. Because you got some women who want dudes from the streets. You got
Mm-hmm.
women who want dudes who educated. You know what I'm saying? Like, or they want a dominant man. Like, I know with black women, they don't want nobody they want a dominant man. They want somebody who have an edge to them. They don't want nobody who just gonna say yes all the time.
Right.
Cause like, you know what I'm saying? It's just different because like, don't know black woman want no pushover.
Yeah. No, and actually a cocky black man is very sexy, and the thing is that, but when you say women from the streets, a lot of times, and what women want from men actually varies according to their age. When they're young, they want a lot of silly, immature stuff. And so they do want those street guys and those thugs. And the women who want those, I'm here to tell you, those are immature women. I don't care if they're 50 years old. If she want a street dude, she's immature. Because a young girl will want a street dude because it's sexy. They're usually sexy, and then also it's the safety, because you feel like this street dude, this thug, if I'm with him, I'm going to be safe. He's going to protect me, because like I said, women are fundamentally always looking for safety and protection. They want him to be a protector, a provider. They're always fundamentally looking for that, always protection and providing fundamentally. And so when you got the street dude, you with him, you're safe. So he's protection. And usually, but as you get older, you realize you don't need that, because you can just get by 9mm and you're equally protected. So it depends on her age, what she's looking for, and when she gets older, or if she's educated, she definitely wants somebody educated as well. It's funny because I remember my kids were saying, they were talking about my son picking a wife, and my sister, my daughter was like, well, I don't care who you marry as long as she's not stupid. Just don't bring a stupid girl here, so that, because that's their background, where they came from, is that they want him to have a little sense. You can't be stupid. You need to be able to talk about some things. So it depends on their age and where in their background, really, what they want. But fundamentally, they want to be safe and they want you to provide, even if they can do that themselves. Okay, now the last thing is rating. Is rating scale. Do you rate women? You personally, do you rate women?
I really don't rate women. I just go by what I'm attracted to. I don't usually use no scale. Like, I don't never be going up. I don't never be looking at women like she a 1 to a 10. I don't do that. I go by what I like. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never looked at a woman and said, she a 5. I don't do that stuff. I just go by, if you're not my type, and I'm not attracted to you, I don't like you.
Yeah, because that might, because the thing is that
So
could
I
change.
don't.
You know. And over the course of your life, that could change what you like, you know. Because like at one point, I thought the light skinned guys were cute. Then after that, I was like, oh no, these we've been sleeping on these dark skinned guys, you know. And so it depends on as you age, you think different things, and you get to recognize there's different types of beauty. There's not one type. And like these girls changing their face and getting a new nose on. So I'm like, you know, we're not supposed to all look alike. We're actually not supposed to be looking the same. It's like because sometimes I look at these girls like they freaking all look the same. I can't tell which one is which. Cash doll, Asian doll. I can't tell which one is which, you know. And so, you know, the thing is that we're not supposed to look the same, and what you like what may change, you know, as you get older. Or, and the thing is that maybe you don't like a girl with big lips, but this girl that's really funny and clever, she's got a nice little dimple and whatever you like her shape or whatever. She got big lips, so all of a sudden you don't mind big lips. So that's the thing is that I'm saying is that, you know, that changes and it's very flexible. So Kevin can't say that, you know, if you plump, you can't get a dude or whatever. And so, and because it depends on what you like. So now, what do you feel about? Because I was actually surprised. I talked to the guy that I'm seeing now, and I said, you know, I was talking about this rating system, and I was like, all of my high horse. I was like, do you rate women? And he was like, yes. I was like, what? You rate women? I thought you were more involved than that. You were out here rating women on a 1 to 10 scale. I was like, did you rate me when we met? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, you rated me? How dare you? I was like, so I was surprised that I had been rated. But you know what? I did not ask what my rating was. I never asked because it does not matter. And that's my thing is that even if I was to be asked that question, I wouldn't answer that question. What do you rate yourself on a 1 to 10? You know, that's not for me to decide, because what you like is so subjective and it's subject to change. So I can't rate myself. You have to rate me. The other person has to rate me, and that's based on what you like or what you don't like. You know, and so to me, I would never rate myself. And so whatever he rates me, it doesn't matter, because the person standing next to him might rate me higher, and the one on the other side of him might rate me lower. So it doesn't matter because it varies from man to man. Everybody think that, you know, this you know, dark skinned girl is the prettiest one in the room, or I might be the light skinned girl is the prettiest one in the room. You know, and so it doesn't matter. And so whatever you say, you can't tell me, you know, you're average at best, you're a 5. You know, you can't tell me that, because that just means I'm a 5 to you, but maybe not to somebody else.
But one thing, the reason why I don't rate women, because like I was dating this woman one time and she kept trying to force me to rate her a scale from 1 to 10, and I was like, I don't know. So I told her a number. I was like, okay. I was like, you're a 7, and she was like, a 7, and I said, you said rate you. I said, I really don't want to rate you, but I'm gonna give you a number. You know,
it was a setup.
So I don't like the rating stuff. Like, nah.
It was a setup. But you know what? If I was younger, I probably would have been interested in what my rating was. But like now, because my assumption is, look, if you came and talked to me, I did not come to talk to you. I did not send for you. You came and started talking to me. So I'm assuming that my rating is satisfactory. So I don't need to know what you're rating me, because you came and talked to me, right? So why am I even asking you that? I'm assuming that you like whatever you saw, or you wouldn't have came over there, you know. And so so that's not something I've ever asked or made any, you know, really give any thought to. But as you can tell, I could talk forever and ever. And so yeah. And then he said you can't use 7 on this scale. Why can't you use 7 on this scale? You know, to me, what kind of scale is this if I can't use the numbers? You know, and then it says Beyonce is an 8.
Yeah.
Okay. He said a supermodel is 10. But yeah, he's a 9. But he's a 9. Yeah. And so
I mean, I like that he tries to set it up for him to win. Him and Tommy Sotomayor sets themselves up to win, and that's cool. They don't be realistic. They set themselves up to win. When you come on their show, it's set up for them to win. So that's the type of game they play.
Yeah, because somebody came in my comments was saying, you should call into Kevin's show. You have an interesting spec. You should call into Kevin's show. I said, there's no point in me calling into Kevin's show, because when you don't disagree with Kevin, or if you best him, or you starting to best him, he hangs up on you. He will curse you out, and then he will play that clown music on you, and then he will then he'll start talking about you after he done hung up on you. Then he starts to trash you. You know, so he sets himself up so that you cannot actually come in there and actually debate him. You cannot on an even scale.
Him and Tommy, you have to let them talk. Like Tommy came on my live show, and I went back and forth with him. He hung up, and then he came back. I had to let him feel like he was empowered just to have a conversation with him. So I had to play a different type of game. You have to play a different type of game with them, or you, especially on their platform. But
I
he
haven't
ain't gonna
finished
get
watching
no.
that because I was watching that.
I had to.
I
I'm
was
sorry.
watching it yesterday. I was watching that yesterday of you, and I was waiting to see because he kept trying to make you. He was trying to manipulate you into dotting that guy or blocking some guy. He was like, "See, this guy, he's trying to make your show about him and this and everything." I was like, he's really trying to push him up into getting rid of that guy. I was like, let me see if he gets rid of that guy for him. I'm gonna see if he falls for it. And but I haven't finished watching it, so I didn't know how it ended. But he was really trying to manipulate you because he felt like he was able to manipulate you, but because you were like kind of pulled back or whatever and let him say what he was saying. But but he felt like he was winning. He felt like he was winning.
I had to fall back. I had to fall back on him because if I, pretty much he was bringing a lot of the followers on there to look at the show. So if I didn't fall back, he wasn't going to stay on the show. So I said, okay, I got to play a different type of game with him. But I didn't block anybody. But at the same time, when I fell back, we actually had a reasonable conversation. And that's what I tried to tell another guy. Another guy had a serious beef with him. And he said he wouldn't have failed back. And I said, you're never going to have a conversation with him if you don't let him get his words out. So I had to play a different type of game. Sometimes it ain't always losing playing that role. Okay, I'm going to make you think you win it. If you got to run your mouth, I'm going to let you run your mouth.
Yeah, because I know, like, it's like Kevin, he when the women are talking, he interrupts them. And then if they start talking, he said, don't interrupt me. Don't talk over me. You're not gonna talk over me. I was like, you're just setting it up for you to win because you interrupt her while she's talking, so she can't get her whole point out. Then you claim that she's interrupting you, and then you hang up on her, and then you hung up because she's interrupting you, and then you start cursing her out and playing the clown music, and then all these sound effects. So to me, there's no point in calling in. And somebody said you should call in and tell him that. On he does some Get Your Smoke or Who Wants to Smoke Friday or something like that. You should call in. I was like, I'm not calling in because I said the thing is that you guys think Kevin's a great debater, but he's not, because he stacks the deck. And if he was to be on somebody else's platform where he can't hang up and he can't play clown music and he has to actually stand on his words, he will lose. He will lose. I think I maybe only saw one woman that could have went with him. But for the most part, he pretty much annihilates these women. They're not that smart. They're not that quick. They're not that, knowledgeable. I guess they seem like they're very young because that's who he wants to talk to, is the young and dumb ones, because he can get over on them, And so people like, you should call in. I was like, there's no point in me calling in. You cannot have a conversation with him because he's not that strong on his points. And you could probably, if you were reasonable, rational, or you were experienced with actually debating, you would massacre him. And I was pissed off because I saw him on a panel with 6 women. He was freaking handling them women, and the points he was making was not good points. And I was like, "Come on, it's 6 of y'all, and not 6 of you bitches, and none of y'all can get with him. Come on, get with him." And it's like they was just like sitting there, like he was just running away with the show.
But see, the thing about it is, like I said when I told Tommy, if you want to go against them, it got to be on a different platform with a moderator. You have to have someone who's going to tell him, be quiet, and then let you talk. Because if you don't, he's going to try to out-talk you, and then he's going to hang up, or he's going to go off the show, he's going to run away. So those type of people, you have to have somebody moderating the show if you're going to go against them.
Right.
It's like Donald Trump. Just like Donald Trump, you can't win a debate with Donald Trump on his platform. He's going to talk and he's not going to let you talk. That's how he beats you. He will try to beat you by over talking to you. You're gonna have to have somebody say, "Shut up, Donald Trump."
Yeah.
Let them talk.
The thing is that you're trying to be polite because he's rude, but it looks like he's mowing you down because you're giving him respect that he's not giving you back. So it looks like. But
I'm gonna tell you something. He win. I'm gonna tell you why they win regardless. Because if you try to play the same game, then nobody's gonna win because both of y'all are arguing. So at the end of the day, when you go and get somebody like Donald Trump, Tommy Sotomayor, Kevin Samuels, those type of people, if you play the game that you're not gonna be quiet, it's just gonna be an argument and nobody's gonna get anywhere. So somebody gonna have to let them talk, or you're gonna have a real moderator say, "Be quiet."
Right.
Because if you're going up against them.
And if you keep doing that with him, you're gonna look just as stupid as he does because you said
exactly.
He does at the same time. So I was like, no, there's no point in his show. Maybe somebody else is
not
one of his minions.
Exactly, and that's why some people probably thought when they seen Tommy's show, they would think like, okay, you letting, like one of the dudes tried to say, I let Tommy do something. No. I had to just to get a point across because The show was not going to be any good with us arguing the whole time,
Yeah, yeah,
and people don't understand it.
yeah, and the thing is that people were when they were coming in my comments, they were saying, "Well, you feel like this and you feel like that, and you say you should be fat. You need to lose weight. You do it's better for you." And I was like, I never said that. The thing is that and they would be telling me things. You said this and you think this. I said, I didn't say that. You need to watch the video again. I didn't say that. And people will come and say that you said all these things that fits into what's going on in the back of their head, and you never said that. I never said that women should not be fit. I've never said that women should, it's okay to have a bunch of kids and go marry somebody else. I've never said that that any of that was okay, and I never said that it was, she didn't have to be attractive. I mean, I feel like as women, we're the fairer sex. I think we have an obligation to look the best we can look. And I think you don't need to be going outside with your head torn up. You don't need to go outside without your makeup and your clothes and stuff looking right. Like my niece, I went one day and she wanted to come out with me in pajamas. I said, no, ma'am, you go back in the house and put some clothes on. You ain't coming nowhere with me with pajamas on. But, and so I feel like you should present yourself well at all times, and so I'm not against looking your best. But the thing is that that's for me to decide. And if whoever I'm attracted to, who's attracted to me, that's for us to decide how desirable I am or not. You don't get to decide that. And you're not going to tell me that I can't have what I want, because I've never dated a broke man. I've never attracted a broke man because I carry myself a certain way. And the people that approach me are actually people who are in the same economic range that I'm in. Because number one, we're in the same places. And number two, we have the same taste. Now, they're going to look at your earrings. They're going to look at your rings on your fingers. And they're going to look at what kind of car you're driving. And they're going to know, okay, she in my cat. Because I've actually seen guys look at me. And this one guy, he was like he might have been on the edge of being a thug. And he looked like he was getting ready to talk to me. And I was like, come on, I'm going to give it to you. If he'd come and asked me, I would have gave him my number. But I was like, come on. And then and I remember he looked down at my shoes and he was like, he just kind of turned his head and went on. I was like, oh, that's too bad because I would have gave you my number. But the thing is that they look at you and they can assess you based on how you look, what category of life you live in and how you carrying yourself, and it's like my car is a BMW. And so when they look at me and they look at how I'm presenting and where I'm at, and they pretty much know because I was in the shop and my hair, somebody was saying the girl walked out and she was very nice looking, nice figure. Her hair was just got done and everything. She walked out and the guy that was in there was looking at her and he was saying how good she looked. And the hairdresser said, well, go ahead and ask her for her number. He looked at her. She got into a Mercedes and he said, no, I can't afford her car. And that was he made the assessment whether or not he's going to talk to her because he couldn't afford the car that she got into. So, the thing is that him saying that if you're heavy, or whatever, you're not going to do. But the thing is that they look at you and they see, where you are and what you stand for and are they willing to talk to you. So they come and talk to you, then that's for them to decide. Kevin don't get to decide that if I'm if I ain't a size 3, then they're not gonna talk to me. He don't get to decide that. He don't get to decide if if I got kids or not. Like I don't have kids now in my house because they're 20 years old, so I don't have kids, but the thing is that when I started back dating again because they were going to college and I was by myself because I didn't date when I did date but I never brought them home. They never met my kids. But the thing is that when I started dating again, I did not want to date a man who has small children. I did that already. I'm done. I don't want no man with small kids. I'm not raising no more kids. Like the person I'm seeing now, his daughter's a teenager. And I told him, I said, if that girl had been smaller, I would not have talked to you because I'm not doing that role again, And so I don't begrudge men that don't want women with children. That's the thing. I never said that it isn't okay to not want women with children. I didn't want no man with little kids, And so you have a right to your preferences. You have a right to your opinion. And I've never said you couldn't have them. I'm just saying Kevin ain't going to decide what it is. And he's not qualified to give the advice he's giving. It's dangerous, some of it. And so that was my whole issue with it. And they keep saying, well, you women don't want to get in shape. Well, y'all should do that. It's healthy for you. I never said it wasn't. But they came in all this stuff saying, you said this, you said, I did not say that, And I feel like if a woman wants to do that, I understand she wants security. She don't want to be abandoned and left alone. If she got, he gonna pay his child support because he got too much to lose. He ain't trying to go to jail for not paying child support, And so I understand what she's thinking about. And I never said that she couldn't do that. The thing is that, Kevin can't come and tell me you ain't gonna get him. You don't know what he wants. If I'm standing up next to him and he talks to me and he thinks that I'm clever, he's like, okay, she got a little extra weight on, but maybe I can take you to the gym with me. And so a lot of times people do that stuff. Because I have had guys say, baby, if you just lose 20 more pounds, you'll be so good. I mean, I'm gonna lose more than 20 pounds. How much do you weigh? 180? I'm about to lose 180 pounds right now because you're not gonna call me again. Go find a lady that weighs 20 pounds less than me, and stop trying to bother me about these 20 pounds. And so my thing is that, you don't know, they might be willing to work with her. She's like, maybe I can get her to go to the gym with me. Let me talk to her some more. And so a lot of times, so Kevin can't say that he don't want her because she's heavy. He can't say that he don't want her because she got kids, because he might be like, how old kids is 17? Okay, they're gonna be going to college in the next year, so I can talk to her. So the thing is that it's too many variables that affect it for you to say you got kids, you out of the game. You fat, you out of the game. You can't say that. You ugly or you get cute. She might put some makeup on and look amazing. So you can't say that. And that's the thing that pisses me off, is that these women accept it. They'll be like, oh, I don't have a chance. Okay, well, never mind. You don't, and so that's what kills me. And then him telling the woman to go back to her abusive husband. What are you saying? You could have killed her. 3 women die every day from domestic violence. You could have killed her, sent her to her death. Don't listen to this man. He's not educated. He's down the soup. He's not trained. He isn't professional. He just looks professional. So, so to me, that's my biggest thing with him. I don't, and he likes to tell people, your life has shown you that you're not. His life has shown him that don't work. You got 6 figures and 2 women left you. His life has shown him his own plan don't work. So why are y'all following him? So that is my thing, as far as him and he goes. But I said I was not going to give him any more energy. I refuse to give him any more life. Unless, of course, because I know we have another collab coming up on your channel. And so, did you want to do it tonight, or we can?
I rescheduled my whole live. Now the one we're gonna do together is gonna be different, because the one I'm gonna do tomorrow is gonna be something totally different. So I'm gonna let you know when I'm gonna do a collab and we can do it together.
Okay. So yeah, so we'll be having another collab on his channel. This is Manly Gossip, ladies. So just look it up. He's got a lot of interesting topics, a lot of interesting things that are going on in our community that he talks about. And of course, this is Passionate Bliss. Go to my online store, mypassionatebliss.myshopify.com. Get your Black Love t-shirts, ladies. Okay, this is the first edition, and I got the second and third edition going on as well, because this t-shirt line, the male and female line talk to each other. So whatever she brings up, she's talking about love, he has to answer her, and he says #Team Black Love. And so I have, this is the emotions line, where they only talk about emotions. But the other line there's the icon line, and there's the queen's line, the king's line, and they talk to each other at different stages of life. So this is the only one that's out right now, but I actually just got the designs back for the other lines. Okay, so those will be coming out soon. But as far as that goes, thank you for joining us. Thank you for your participation. I enjoyed having you very much, Manly Gossip. And so you're welcome to come back anytime. And as many times as you would like to collaborate, I would like to collaborate. Because my thing is that, my channel is about reconnecting Black men and Black women. And so it can't just be a chick up here talking all the time. It has to be a man talking as well. Just like these two, they're talking, So anytime you want to come back, it's fine. I would love to have your voice. You have an amazing voice. And your smile is great. The rumors are true. Your smile is actually awesome. So anytime, anytime I can help.
Thank you. And I enjoyed being on your channel too. I think it was an interesting topic. You have a good following, a good channel, and I enjoyed being on it. I mean, it was fun. And I like talking about this type of stuff. Like having a real conversation. I enjoyed that.
Right. Because that's my thing with, Kevin and his channel. It isn't a conversation. It's him laying down the law. And so we're not actually talking about what's keeping us apart, and if we're not talking about what's keeping us apart, we're not being honest, then we can't really reconnect in a healthy way, because having money be your God is not the healthy way, and so that's my biggest thing, is that we have to have dialogue, because dialogue, when you're having dialogue, that means you're talking and you're solving a problem together. So that's my biggest goal, is to start the dialogue, and that will let us heal, so that we can reconnect. Okay, thank you so much for coming. Okay, with that being said, y'all have sweet dreams. Wake to find them all real. Do you want to say have a closing thought?
I guess let me think what would be a closing thought. I mean, I feel like this. My closing thought would be about the things Kevin Samuel say. I feel like a strong man and a strong woman, if that's what you think you are, you should never follow a man like Kevin Samuels. But at the same time, if that's your choice, that's your choice. If you come in with your mindset, believing you know who you are before you even attempt to show up on a show like that, then you stand a good ground. Anytime you come in, but it's like getting a job. They want confident people to come to the job. If you're confident you can do the job, they're willing to train you. If you come in and don't have confidence, they'll pick somebody with the confidence. So anytime you approach someone with confidence, you always stand a better chance. So don't come with no confidence. If you come with no confidence, somebody's gonna exploit it.
Mm-hmm. And if they cry on the interview, do not hire them, because they're gonna quit.
Right.
I was director on my job, and I would be hiring people. Every time if they cried on that interview, they were not going to stay. You feel bad for them. I need a job so bad. I'd be like, okay. And they hired them, and they joker quit in 2 weeks. Never hired them. Confident. If they're not confident on that interview, do not hire them. So I agree with you.
Right. I agree.
Okay. All right. Then thanks for coming. You have a good evening. Okay.
All right, you're welcome. You have a good one too. See you later.
Okay, definitely hit me up. I have to give you my phone number too, as well.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Alright. All right, do that. You can hit. I mean, just give it to me on your Gmail. You can hit my Gmail up.
All right. Sure. Will.
All right.
Okay. All right. Have a good one.
All right. You have a good one too.
Okay. We'll see y'all next time.